Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it's Saturday, which means it is Star Trek time. And we are joined once again by my good friends, the One Ton Hammer,
Hello.
Irate Prostate,
Hello.
and Skeptalk, who is appearing as himself today and not Barry White, except in the
Hi,
picture.
buddy.
And today, for the movie, we are going to be reviewing one of my actual personal favorites, honestly. I wouldn't call it like the best, like cinematically out of all of them, but it's my personal favorite, The Voyage Home. And I love this movie. It's fun, but it's got some interesting, plot devices to it. It's a good. I think it's a good movie. So let's get right into talking about it. But first, how are you guys doing? It's been a bit.
I'm good.
That's good.
Costa's in chat. OG, how's it going, Costa?
Hello, Costin.
How you doing, Skep?
I'm doing very fine. It was so fun to just get to rewatch this again.
Yes.
Plus, getting to watch it for free under my Amazon Prime membership. That was kind of a bonus. I didn't realize that that was contained for free in the Amazon Prime uh, uh, membership. So that was very cool.
Nice.
And there's so many little moments in this movie. There are little nuggets of fun in this
Yep.
movie that I just love, and uh, it, it's just like, and I wonder, not to get too far into it, but just to give an example of what I'm talking about, when uh, Scotty picks up when he goes over to the computer and says, "Computer,"
He picks up the mouse
and then
and tries to
what
talk into the
he,
mouse.
he says, "Oh, it must be a microphone." He picks up the mouse like it's a microphone. Computer,
Hello,
and he
computer.
does, and then he goes, "Oh, a keyboard. How
How
quaint."
quaint.
And it's just like a joke within a joke within a joke. It's like those
That's good
nested
stuff.
dolls.
Yep.
I just love that writing. I wonder if that was one of those jokes that just occurred to a bunch of them talking through a scene, saying,
No.
"Hey, we could do this. We could do
Well,
it like
there's
this."
No.
there's
No, it wasn't.
often
No,
no.
Leonard Nimoy, who directed, specifically said that the previous movies were a little too serious, and he intentionally wanted to lighten it up a bit.
Yeah.
So everything was written as produced, except for the Alameda scene. That's the only thing that was not
Well,
on script.
there's also a point
Oh.
of it has to
too bad.
be like there's still some serious moments in this movie, and I like that there's humor to balance it out because we're still dealing with Spock basically relearning how to be Spock, right? We've still got Spock recovering basically from resurrection is the best way to put it. And so we have that, and I think the humor is kind of a necessary balance to that because as you said, Hammer, especially the last two movies were really serious. And you still have, Spock recovering and Jim and McCoy trying really hard to be like, okay, do you remember, like, yeah, you were Vulcan, but you also liked to, crack wise every once in a while, and, you understood friendship, and, do you remember that? Like, and that's hard to, it's kind of sad. So I think that humor was a good balance, and it was well done too.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a good idea, no doubt.
yeah, like, how there's some movies where they try to do that. They try to have serious and humor in the same movie, but it's like they try and hand it in, and it's very forced. They did it a very good job with balancing the serious moments and the funny moments in this movie, I think. But to quickly summarize, this movie is about an alien race sending a probe, the wah 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 probe that Hammer likes so much.
Hmm.
And this probe is basically evaporating the oceans of Earth. And it's producing this sound that is clearly a language, but that humans that nobody understands what's going on. And Spock, on the Klingon vessel that they have taken from the third movie and repaired, figures out that it's actually whale song, and the crew of now the Klingon vessel, formerly Enterprise, decides we're gonna go back in time and get some whales and bring them to the 23rd century, and hopefully they'll tell the probe what it needs to know, and we'll be good. That's basically the plot of this movie, and it sounds ridiculous when you explain it like that, but it's so well executed, and it's so, like, you can tell that it's filmed, in the late 80s, where the environmental stuff is really starting to be a popular talking point in media, because when we go back in time, with the old go around the sun trick, gotta love that. We see that we've got these environmental, these marine biologists, particularly the female marine biologist, who really cares for these humpback whales and wants to study them and keep them and reintroduce them to the wild instead of being, taken off to a zoo, basically, and put on display. And you can tell, you can see the the narrative of the time, right? But in proper old Star Trek fashion, they were able to discuss a social issue without smashing you over the head with it.
Right.
Back in the days of nuance.
Yeah. Like it just that's why I get so annoyed with stuff like Discovery, cuz it's like you've got tons of reference material on how to do this with nuance, and yet you insist upon just smacking people in the face with politics and social justice. It's kind of frustrating.
But Skip is right. There's a lot of places in this film where that a little bit of humor here and there really went a long way to the movie, because I think this movie, while not as engaging as Wrath of Khan, is more enjoyable overall for the casual view.
Yes. I would agree with you.
What do you think, IP?
I think that I like the way that there's a rhythm to the movie, and it just doesn't stop. It's entertaining. I love the light part. Because it's like especially now for some reason, I'm really wanting a diversion from not feeling bad. You know what I'm saying? From feeling bad.
It's easy to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a pleasure, and that's it was just
it's a movie
I don't know,
you can watch and smile.
I got one complaint.
What's
It
that?
began at the very beginning of the movie. The orchestration is fucking phenomenal. It's ridiculous, and then it just goes away. It's like, what happened to the music, man?
You're right. The music is great at the beginning, and then it's like they got lazy. They were like, oh, they went back in time, so we'll just throw in some 80s, house music. It'll be fine.
But it's like, that's my only complaint, man. It's a great, solid movie. It's just it's a fun ride. The whole Chekhov at the submarine base thing is great.
I
Um,
like and I like how they tie everything in at the beginning,
mm,
right? You have the case the hearing basically, right? With the Klingons present and they're watching the footage. Um and the Klingon says basically that they will know no peace until Kirk is called to justice,
mm.
which kind of gives you a bit of foreshadowing to the undiscovered country if you think about it.
Right.
Um, which I like. Um, and we've got Sarek in all his splendor again, just walking in and deadpanning the whole hearing, as he does. And it's great juxtaposition, the pissed off Klingons screaming for vengeance. And then Sarek walks in and goes, "Yeah, you guys drew first blood. Uh, what about that? Did
Right.
just did
And
you
Frag the Grissom.
Yeah, you killed you blew up the Grissom, you murdered the crew of the Grissom, and you drew first blood. What do you expect?" Like honestly, Kirk did what every captain probably would have done if they had been boarded like that. Like any captain worth his salt, right? If there was no other option, you get your boys off and you scuttle that fucker before you go.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that's how it works. I don't, um but I love, even before we get back in time, we have little bits of humor. We have McCoy coming up to Spock at the science station. Hi. Hi, how are you? you know, you seem busy. Uhura is busy. I am monitoring. Just and he goes, how about we have a philosophical conversation? I have not had time on Vulcan to study the philosophical, precepts. It's like just this back and forth. I don't know. I love it. The McCoy Spock dynamic. It's always good. Like even in the original series, but after the Wrath of Khan and the Search for Spock, it's they wrote it as something different, and Nimoy and DeForest Kelly played it as something deeper, and they both did a great job, I think.
Kelly's just been a consistent standout on all
Oh
these movies.
yeah. So we get back in time, and one of my favorite scenes is when it happens pretty much right away, is the two working class guys in the park bitching to each other, and and the cloaked Klingon ship just starts landing, and there's all this wind, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And just it's so funny to me. I love that it they're just trying to talk over this landing cloaked ship. It's just, there's so much.
They deny it instantaneously.
Yeah.
You know, when I tell me when we get to the deep trivia, because I actually have. It's not me personally, but it's the father-in-law of my. It's kind of complicated, but I have to explain it.
Go for it.
My father-in-law was a lieutenant and lieutenant commander in during World War II. He was and Anyway, he was CO of a minesweeper. And
Okay.
the class of minesweeper that he was called a YMS. It's called a yard minesweeper. It's a real small wooden hulled boat.
Right.
Did you notice the whaling ship? That whaling ship was a sister ship built by the same company. It actually was a yard minesweeper
Oh, really?
that was called the USS Golden Gate and was a sister ship of my father-in-law's ship. I should say sister boat.
That is
Those
cool.
are boats, not ships. Yeah. And it was actually YMS 322. And it was commissioned 20th of November, 1943. This is a famous bit of trivia known in the Navy about this movie, and I've been sitting on it and hoarding it and waiting for this moment to hatch it out and
That's
show it to you. And if I can show you the nav source online,
Oh,
the
that is
Mine Warfare
awesome.
Vessel Photo Archive, if you're really into that sort of thing,
that's so
but
cool.
that is it. That's for real.
That's really strange that they would take an American ship and put a Finnish crew on it. Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Because the people in the movie who are talking to each other, the guys who fire the whaling thing,
Hmm.
they're speaking in Finnish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why didn't they
That's
use the Finnish
Hollywood.
ship?
I mean, it's Hollywoodish. I
Not
don't
weird.
think they gave a shit.
The
Just they assume
Batman.
people wouldn't
Not to me.
recognize it. So
But
it wouldn't make any difference?
Yeah,
I
no.
promise you, this is that vessel. This is that.
Oh,
Vessel.
I'm not.
Well, no, it's
questioning
not.
that.
It's not. It's
Well,
nothing
It's
out of
just
that.
funny.
I just
Very
don't
well
think
done.
they would go to that length to make it that accurate. I don't think. I think Hollywood is like, you got a budget. You know, how much can you spend on this shit, right?
Right. So they just
Yeah.
assume that the average person wouldn't know the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
would think.
Yeah.
The Batman says, "You forgot the trash can that got crushed." Blind press. I did. That
Yes, and
that
that's
you can
that's
actually
pretty awesome.
hear it. You crunch.
There's a lot of, if you go back and watch the movie, there are a lot of weird things you can check trivia for, because this movie is packed with trivia. The IMDb trivia page is like 30 pages long. It's huge.
Yeah.
We're
Like when he
One
jumps
thing-
on top of Kirk,
Yes.
when they go to beam up, and
Beam
she's
up,
going to
yeah.
leave her there. I just need the
Surprise!
frequency. She jumps on him and says, "Surprise!" You hear Kirk go, "Ugh." That was not planned. She was heavy enough that it caused Shatner to actually make that noise.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's funny.
But the thing I wanted to
Can I
say
ask one
about that-
question?
Sure, what's up, Irate?
About the girl, what's with the sweater and the nipples?
Catherine Hicks. She's, oh man, I had a crush on her.
I was like, I kept noticing. It's like, holy smoke, man! It's like, what the fuck was?
It must have been
was
cold.
Nimoy having his midlife crisis or something?
It must have been cold.
It must have been real cold.
And the Batman says they are talking Finnish, or they may be talking Finnish, but they're supposed to be Russians. Oh, that's even funnier.
But
What were you going to say? We cut you off, Skip. What were you going to say?
the thing I wanted to say was the continuity was so good, because every time they went to shots of Golden Gate Park, that crushed trash can was there.
Yeah.
That was just good filmmaking. That was just good. I love that anyway. That's the only part I wanted.
Good continuity.
Yeah, good continuity. Yeah.
So-
Because bad continuity can suck you out of a film fast.
Yep.
It does. It irritates me. Don't you hate that when somebody's
Yeah.
wearing the wrong shirt in the same goddamn scene?
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah,
See,
all
I'm
the watches and
lucky-
Spartacus.
I'm lucky that I can't see that,
yes.
but it just, there are some audio stuff that can do it for me, like
Mhm.
audio cues. Music really does it for me. Like if you've got a say a period movie and they screw up the music, and it
Yeah,
sounds more modern than the the time
Mm.
of the time setting, it
Right.
really pisses me off. It's like, really, you couldn't do your own. I think the only movie that doesn't piss me off in is A Knight's Tale, because it's supposed to be stupid and
Well, anachronism can, have a place,
yeah.
you
But if
but
you're
yeah, as a
actually
general,
trying to
I
be
agree.
a serious movie and
Yeah.
you screw up your music, that
You fuck it
continuity
up.
really messes
It
with
played
me.
well in A Knight's Tale, though. Having
It
Well,
Bowie
did.
I
for
think
the movie.
Sonic design became a really big thing in the '80s because
Yeah.
of guys like David Lynch
Yeah.
and Cronenberg. They started experimenting more with the actual sound presentation in addition to the visual part,
Mm.
which is
This movie
and
was a lot more sound heavy than the
dude,
others.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
nice
That's
stereophonic sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So
Which
we
is
get landed, and we crush some trash cans, and we blow some working class guys on their ass, and then the boarding party decides to go exploring, or the landing party, I should say. So we have Kirk and Spock, we have Uhura and Chekhov, and I think we had another like red shirt team, didn't we? Or we had Bones and Scotty. That's what we had. We had Kirk and Spock, Chekhov and Uhura, and Bones and Scotty. And so Kirk and Spock are going to find the whales. They need nuclear.
Wessels.
They
Wessels.
need
Wessels.
nuclear. They need nuclear vessels.
God, you said that really well.
And I can't pretend, or I can't remember. I'm blanking for some stupid reason on what the nuclear fuel or was that they would need was for. I think it was to get home.
Highly charged photons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was to get. I think it was to get back because they needed.
Photons carrying a charge like they do.
Yeah.
But,
There's no
That's-
such thing, but I understand
but-
for
Hey,
the
it's
audience.
Star
yeah,
Trek.
it's Star Trek. So
They're either charged or not charged. They're not highly charged.
it's just give them a pass. Give them a pass.
And then so
Nuclear vessels.
Wessel. And I love the joke about that because it's just at the height, like the Soviet Union is about to fall, right where they are, and there's this Russian dude looking for the Alameda base and the nuclear vessels, just wandering around downtown San Francisco.
Did you know that cop in that scene is not an actor?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
He's actually a cop, a real cop, and never answers, never says a word.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl that they talk to, who walks by, she said, and Uhura asks, and the girl says, "Oh, I think they're near the bay in Alameda," and she continues to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
She is not an actor either.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, she was in the area, and they wanted to film in the area, so they towed her car. Did you watch the Blu-ray Spock interview on the Blu-ray?
No, I don't
No.
have access to the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
copy.
he said that they towed her car, so in recompense, they gave her that shot
That's
where she's
funny.
supposed to walk by. But Nicole, what's her face? Uhura, Nichelle Nichols,
Nichelle Nichols?
Nichelle
Nichelle Nichols. Yeah.
stops her, and is not supposed to, and asks her that question, and the girl just responds.
Mm-hmm.
Most
And
natural thing in the world.
It just because the director said just walk by naturally. Well, she did walk by naturally, except that Nichelle Nichols stopped her and asked her a question, so she answered naturally, and earned her SAG card
Nice.
Oh my god. Oh,
Yep.
that's
for
awesome.
speaking on film. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And they paid her for her car. They towed it. They paid
Oh, I
the towing
love it.
costs for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's on the if you get a chance to watch the extras for the Blu-ray. It's not on DVD. It's on the Blu-ray.
Did she get a credit?
I'd have to go back and look, but probably. I think by SAG rules you have to credit, unless
Yeah,
you're requested by the actor not to.
Hey, the Batman wants an
Yeah,
invite.
you might be right, actually.
Is everyone okay if the Batman comes and joins us?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Sure.
I don't mind at all. He's good people, y'all.
Okay.
So,
The Batman, do you have Twitter?
That's
Yeah.
Waters.
That's Waters?
Duh.
Speaking part would almost require a credit, says Grillin' Pirate Pete.
Yeah. Unless the person who's speaking, they can specifically say ask not to be credited. Like Madge Sinclair played the first female starship captain in the very beginning of the movie, requested not to be credited, so she's not in the credits.
I wonder why.
Alright, I will follow you right now, dude, and send you a whatchamacallit.
The funny thing is, she shows up in Next Generation as Geordie's mom.
That's Jordy's mom?
Yeah, that's Madge Sinclair. It's the same actress.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
She was recommended to. She was recommended to be in the movie because they originally had written a part for Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy knew her through Coming to America. And he said, well, you don't want me. I'm going to be busy doing The Golden Child, but you should make it a female captain. And I know somebody who would play the part. And he recommended Madge Sinclair, and she took it. You guys really need to watch the Blu-rays.
I do.
Kinds of good stuff that you won't find on IMDb there.
That's awesome.
The company that is the company that does the aluminum, the transparent aluminum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have that company up front when they were first scouting locations. They had gotten the place where the whales were, Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Yeah.
They had set that aside, and they knew that they needed a place to do a plastic, transparent aluminum kind of thing. So they talked to the aquarium and asked the aquarium where they got their glass for the aquariums from. And they pointed to the company that they decided to use after all. That's how that company got the location.
Oh, wow.
It's because you guys got to watch the whole.
I need to get my... Man, that's...
But that's how they found that location, is because they asked the aquarium. They got the aquarium first. First thing they got was the aquarium. First site location they got was the aquarium. Because they knew they'd have to have that.
Right.
That was the main part of the movie. So they went to them and secured that. And then they said, by the way, who does your glass? And they said, oh, this company over here did it. So Nimoy went down to the other company and said, we'd like to use your facility for our movie. And they said, okay.
That is so cool.
We invented transparent aluminum.
All right, so it's called Alon.
Yeah, transparent aluminum actually does exist. It was invented in 2009.
Aluminum oxynitride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By the way, I put an article
at MIT, I think,
on movie credits.
I think the seed is generated here, Pamela.
Okay.
Wait, what's that IP?
I think the idea for transparent aluminum may have been generated in this movie.
Yeah,
the actual seeds for the real thing.
Everybody, welcome the Batman.
I remember the flip phones. Batman!
Is the Batman.
Hi.
Iris. Hello.
Batman.
Yeah, I actually...
Sorry.
Me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's highly likely, though, the movie being the focal point that we got the transparent metal from. I mean, so much of what we have now came from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Biobeds, cell phones,
iPads.
iPads, yep.
iPads, yep.
So we got on our little, landing party, tour, we've got Spock and Jim on a bus.
Oh god, that was funny.
That's funny as shit.
Before you go any further, I don't know if it's a deleted scene or it was just added to the novel version. But Sulu was in
hey, you. and I berate you.
Oh yeah, the Sex Pistols.
And
No, that's not the Sex
It's
Pistols.
not the
like,
Sex Pistols. I thought
That
it
was
was.
written by the director. That was an
Yeah.
original tune.
Oh.
yeah, it was. But Sulu's in San Francisco, and this little boy comes up to him, speaking in Japanese,
Uh-huh.
mistaking him for his brother.
Aw.
And it turns out that it's one of Sulu's ancestors.
That's so funny. I wish that would have been a scene. Maybe it was deleted.
I think one of the funniest things was Kirk's telling to get rid of the insignias and
Yeah.
Starfleet.
Yeah.
It's San Francisco. It's in California in the 80s. Nobody would have given a second glance.
Probably not. No.
Nope, they wouldn't have.
It would have just been decoration.
Yeah.
Actually, with those uniforms, it kind of looks like decoration. It doesn't look very
Yeah.
formal.
I think they were the best Starfleet uniforms that they ever came out with.
It seems like they were made with marshmallow. That white just seems so puffy and
Hmm.
Didn't all have,
marshmallow man. You know.
they didn't all have white.
No,
White.
it was white over red. When you opened it up, it was white inside.
Yeah,
And
that
it
was it.
really puffy.
That was the white was command. Red was engineering still. They still had specialization colors or division colors. But anyway,
So first we have Kirk almost getting hit by a car and yelling "double dumbass on you." It's
because the driver
Watch out,
called him a
you
dumbass. That's
dumbass.
why.
Yeah.
That's why.
yeah,
Double dumbass.
double dumbass on you, and Spock's just like, what?
The hell?
Okay.
The hell I can.
Metaphors.
And then-
Right.
The giants.
yeah, and then we've got and then they get on the bus, and we've got this punk guy with a ghetto blaster.
Yep.
And I didn't know that was a tune that the director wrote. That's funny. It's I love just Spock just freaking just takes it and just bam, and everyone's clapping. Everyone's just like yay. But I think my favorite part is the Spock going and swimming in the whale tank.
Well, that's because he was drunk. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was drunk.
Yeah, he'd had something with sugar in it. Apparently, Vulcans don't react very well to sugar.
I don't remember any of that.
Were you drunk as well? Were you?
No, I thought he was trying to mind meld with the whales or something.
was.
Yeah, but he was. But it's because he was basically either drunk or high on the sugar in that treat that Kirk bought him.
No, I think Kirk made up that he was like. So there was this.
Oh yeah, that's afterward. But it's when
Yeah.
they got on the bus because he asked him, "Is the sucrose in this?"
Oh right,
Yeah, remember?
I don't.
you're right. He does.
Star Trek nerd.
So Spock went into the tank with the whales because he ate chocolate?
Basically,
Okay.
I wonder if it's like the Borg and Synthahol
When did he eat this chocolate? What part of the movie?
on the bus. I
on
think.
the it was on the bus because Kirk had to have the correct change, or he wouldn't be allowed on the bus. So he had to buy something. And that's
What does it mean? Correct change. I remember that line.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he had to have the exact change, and he had to buy something to get the exact change. And that's what he bought. He bought some kind of confection.
I'm actually watching the movie right now, and I don't see any of that.
I distinctly remember it.
You're hungry.
Yeah, I'm
Is it
moving.
something that might be in a director's cut and not in the
maybe.
editor cut?
Or it might have been in the cinematic release and not in the DVD
maybe.
you're watching.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right.
I will be right back. I have a hungry 6-year-old.
Ah, Yeah, the hard.
You're gonna have to cut off the breastfeeding at some point.
Yeah, they cut from the bus right to Scotty and McCoy because the last line he says is, "What does it mean, exact change only?" And Kirk just kind of shrugs, grabs him by the shoulder or by the elbow, and then they cut to Scotty and McCoy, which I'm watching right now, and I'm fast forwarding.
So
You get
that's a
the
cut.
you get the cop with the Alameda thing, and then
Yeah.
you immediately cut right to the bus.
Okay.
There's no sugar. There's no,
Yeah,
and I don't remember ever seeing that in the theater either.
No, the first time I saw it was when it came out in the theater. So
Weird.
maybe they've cut it out since.
I did find it amusing when the marine biologist basically like catches Spock in the in the tank, and Kirk's like, yeah, he did too much LSD when he was in the
LDS.
LDS,
Yeah.
that's right. He did too much
Too
LDS.
much
Which was
LDS
another
can
joke.
that can make you crazy too.
Exactly. I was going to say that was a double entendre joke too, man.
It sure
The
was.
fucking the whole script's loaded with shit like that.
I just love that movie. It's it
Great.
was such a joy rewatching that.
Yep.
Very enjoyable.
Gracie,
Okay,
fragments.
I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
I did a little bit of
I'm gonna
research on
Give
that.
my kid a
Lord
We'll talk
Richmond.
amongst ourselves then.
I did a little bit of research.
amongst
There,
yourselves.
there is no theatrical or director's cut or special edition.
There really?
Weird.
Yeah.
That's
Now
interesting.
there's a special edition release, but it does not include any changes to the actual
It's
film.
just got commentary and stuff like that.
I
Right.
distinctly remember that though.
But there's no trace of it anywhere that I can find. Unless do you have a copy that you can review? Do you actually have this movie?
No, I was looking for it.
I
On,
have it on
I was
DVD. I haven't.
I was looking for it on Amazon, and I couldn't find it either. I did not see because I was looking for an extended, extended cut because that's what I like to watch,
Mhm,
and
so
I
do
could not. I couldn't find it on Amazon.
Yeah, I
either.
always go
Well, I
for
went to
the-
the Star Trek wiki, all things Star Trek, and there's nothing there. And then I did a regular Google search, and there, I usually check Blu-ray.com, blue-ray.com.
Yeah.
That's
So
where you see all that stuff, and there's nothing.
So they're hiding. They're hiding it.
Yes.
Why are they hiding it from us?
Either that or it's one of those, what the hell you call them?
Well, I want to see it now.
Or it's a Mandela effect.
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna see it.
Mandela
Maybe,
effect.
man.
So Streisand effect.
It's just
Reverse-
Schrodinger's cut.
Yeah, it's
So
a
you-
reverse Streisand Schrodinger effect.
So you have this on your DVD then?
I don't know because I haven't watched the DVD yet. I've got the 5 movie box set and I haven't even opened it yet.
Wait,
Uh,
that should be on. Wait a minute, that should be able to see.
No, I had those experiences though. Like in the movie The Thing, all right, there's a scene where there's music playing in the background. The guy's on his skates, and he says, "Maybe we're at war with Norway." In the original version, it was Santana that was playing on that, and then they put in "Superstitious" by Stevie Wonder in the later mix. Stupid shit like that's the kind of stuff I remember. So.
Grillin' Pirate Pete is asking if there's a UK edition that might be.
That's what I was wondering.
But I'm at Blu-ray.com, which shows everything. It's like you said, you had DVD, so it might be different for Blu-rays. But there's 9 entries for the Voyage Home, and they're all exactly the same movie. Just they're packaged with other movies, as there's one called the Stardate Collection, the motion picture cast edition,
Maybe it's a cutscene.
anniversary edition. But all of them have the same exact movie, but just other things tacked on.
I found out where I got it from.
Ah.
I got it from the novel.
Oh, it's in the book, the novelization.
Yeah,
Okay.
because in the novelization, the bit with Scotty and McCoy, they go to that particular company because that was the company that invented transparent aluminium, or aluminum as you Americans call it.
Got it.
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer.
You do that really well.
It's not it. The thing about the chocolate is not in the memory alpha.
No, it's in the novelization.
Is it in the novelization though?
Does Memory Alpha
Yeah.
keep all the book stuff as well? Or is it just do film and television?
Just do a Google search Vulcans and sucrose.
Well, but yeah, I believe that. I'm trying to figure it out on this particular instance. And so it's actually in the novel.
Yeah.
So it should be. It makes me want to suggest an edit to the
Memory alpha.
wiki.
Yeah.
Because that's missing.
Yeah, but I had the question was, does the wiki cover the books?
Yeah, I don't know.
It should.
This
Memory
is
beta
about the movie. This particular article is about the movie,
Well,
and that's what I'm trying to figure it out. Is the movie making reference to the sucrose thing specifically?
Well, the movie
Or
never makes a reference.
does the movie omit that? Does the movie cut that out?
Well, according to Hammer, it's not in the movie at all.
No,
so,
I just watched it. I just said that.
So I'll have to go.
There's no mention of it at all in the movie.
I'll
Okay,
have to err on what Hammer's
that's what
saying.
I thought. That's what I thought too. Is that there was no mention of it in the movie because I didn't
See?
get that from the movie
See,
at all.
I've been here 5 minutes and I've ruined your stream already.
No, you
5
haven't.
minutes.
No,
and
not-
it made it
not
much
at
more
all.
interesting.
Yeah, and I've ruined it faster than you anyway. So you
No,
got a long way to go to ruin.
You have
mess with my
I
records,
ruined
man.
it.
So we've got.
I haven't ruined shit.
Irate's like, I'm a good boy.
Aye, let's face it, Irate, you don't ruin anything.
Fuck.
So we have we've got, the movie progresses. We've got the marine biologist who has discovered that they're from the future, because she jumps on Kirk, and
Catherine Hicks can jump on me anytime she wants.
yeah,
That could have ended up very badly. Think
Yeah.
Tuvix.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
no kidding. Especially at that time, like that would have had more chance of happening back then than it did.
Yeah, but it's Scotty.
Yeah, that's true. But so they eventually, they've got to get the whales out and onto this Klingon ship, and of course, Chekhov is trying to get the nuclear vessels for
Captain.
the
It is the Enterprise.
yes.
Mm.
And he finds the Enterprise and gets chased by Marines and falls off of, I think he's on the flight deck.
That wasn't actually the Enterprise, though.
No,
The
it wasn't.
Enterprise was at sea at the time. It
Yeah.
was not a ship. I don't know. Actually, Skip would probably know this.
I think he falls off where he's onto the flight deck. If I
Or
remember.
he falls onto the tarmac of the flight deck from a significant height.
It's the elevator.
See,
Um,
if that had been a Starfleet phaser, the radiation wouldn't have buggered it up.
Yep.
Skip, can you find out what ship that really was?
yeah. I'm doing it right now.
I knew it was like Enterprise was CVN
65.
65, and the
65
ship that they
was
used was
Enterprise.
actually 61. So if you can find out what 61 was, you'll find out what the name of the ship is.
CBN Carrier Vessel Knight. That's what it stands for.
So then we.
Ranger, USS.
Oh,
Ranger.
the Ranger.
USS
Yeah, it was Ranger. It was a four-star class from Carrot.
I remember the number, but I couldn't remember the name.
I've actually seen that ship underway.
So is the
Really?
Ranger
Yep, I sure as hell
a
have.
sister ship
Yep.
of the Enterprise, or is it?
No, it
just
is not a no. It's a four-star class
Okay.
carrier. That was built back in the day.
It's smaller than the Enterprise.
Yeah, and it's smaller and it's conventionally powered.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not nuclear
has-
either.
Yeah,
It has
Uh,
five boilers, 4 engines. Will cross connect with the. Well, you're not interested in the boiler.
yeah, it can only do to walk.
I can give you all that.
forward.
Can give you all that shit.
So, we get to see Bones in a 20th century hospital because they find they find out that Chekhov has been, injured and captured.
Goddamn
God,
barbarians.
the old lady.
So yes, This is the best. He finds a woman hooked up to a dialysis machine and is shocked and appalled and just pulls out a tablet from his pocket. It's like, here you go, take this.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say something like, I assume they're going to try to balance your humors too.
Yeah.
Well, he does make a comment like that in the operating theatre. What are you going to do? Drill a hole in his head to let the evil spirits out?
Yeah.
Then there's a line. Do you want an acute case in your hands? This woman has upper postprandial, upper abdominal distension.
Yeah, she has gas.
What's that?
Stomach cramps.
No, that's menstrual cramps.
Oh, my favorite.
Postprandial means after a meal.
Yeah.
After a meal.
So
Abdominal
she ate too much
distension.
food.
So it's gas buildup in the intestine is what that actually describes.
I thought postprandial meant after the whatchamacallit, after menstruation had ceased.
It means whatever McCoy says it means.
Postprandial. I'll get you a dictionary definition.
I believe.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a scriptwriter.
I love that he
Postprandial, during or relating to the period after dinner or lunch.
Okay. So, but I like when they're in the elevator.
Do you want a link
again?
Do you want a link to that?
Oh, now don't be shady. You saw what I did to him when he got.
That's what I was messing with.
Dude.
So in the elevator we have McCoy yelling at two doctors who are basically betting on when some patient's gonna die, which is kind of fucked.
Yeah. Shades of the Mirror Universe.
And Kirk's just like, he's had a hard day. and then they have to get Chekhov out of the hospital. So I love I love how this movie flows together, because it switches from, they're trying to get Chekhov out of the hospital. Then it's, we're kind of going back and forth from rescuing Chekhov to rescuing the whales and setting the ship up for the whale. Like, there's no really hanging, boring parts of this movie.
No, there isn't. That's why I said in the chat earlier, it felt a hell of a lot like an episode of the original series to me.
It did, yeah.
Does this movie go by really, really fast for anybody else?
Yes.
It cruises me.
And it's almost 2 hours. It's an hour and 58 minutes long.
Yeah.
It just flies by.
You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
It is a fun movie, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's why an hour of Star Trek Discovery seems like 4.
Yeah. Years.
Time dilates.
And that's for a good episode.
Like the Gordon Lightfoot line, when the show turns the minutes to hours.
Mm.
It oh God.
Hello, Prospero.
Would
Thank
like
you
to
for
play
stopping
again?
by.
Prospero.
Oh, there she is.
Yay.
So we're at the 50-minute mark. Are there
some brain power in chat?
Before we
Just kidding.
We're at the 50-minute mark and we're almost done the movie. So we get George and Gracie, which are the name of the two whales.
Does everybody understand the nuance of that?
Yeah, George Burns and
Gracie Allen.
Gracie Allen. Yeah, I can never remember Gracie's last name. I always
half the time she couldn't either.
So
Good night, Gracie.
say goodnight, Gracie.
Yeah. And we have when they get the whales up to the ship, and we have, one of the most iconic lines of the movie, "Captain, there'll be whales here."
That's so great.
Yep.
And we then have Spock, as the movie progresses, he's starting to get more and more like old Spock. Yeah, he's starting to, because Spock is never not a rigid, he's half Vulcan. but at the beginning of the movie, he was all Vulcan, right? And as the movie progresses, you can see that the human side of him is starting to reemerge. And you see him at the end, and they're Kirk's like, can you reprogram this? And he's like, maybe.
Yeah.
We gotta calculate for all this extra weight and water and whales, and so it's
Something about mass through a time continuum.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's not static or something along that
yeah,
line.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
How are we
and-
coming on that calculation? 1 damn minute, Admiral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a guess. Take a best guess.
Mind what you were saying earlier about Spock and McCoy, their relationship. If you've watched the original series as many times as somebody my age has, you realise that in the original series, at least, they were never friends. Yeah, they respected each other. They just didn't like each other.
Yeah, you could tell. They're...
Well,
Well, I think maybe at the beginning they didn't like each other, but I think as the show progressed, I think they became like a grudging
respect for one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe even a sort of proto friendship, as much as each was able to have within the confines of their characters. Their characters
Because
developed
they were very much the opposite of each other, weren't they?
yes,
very
yeah.
much. Yeah. And their reactions to one another were different. I mean, Bones despised what he felt was the coldness of Spock and Spock's inability to appreciate the beauty of emotions in human beings. And Spock felt, I think, contempt, and also feared his own humanness. That was always something that haunted Spock, was his half human.
Yes.
And something he regarded as a weakness, and that was something that was always around the next corner for him, and that was a complicating thing for him in dealing with someone who was very emotionally based, like McCoy, who also happened to be very good at what he did, and would invite respect and friendship on a human basis. So that was a very complicated situation
And
for Spock to have to deal with.
And it didn't help with Spock that McCoy it entered into Star Trek late in his life. Starfleet, rather.
Starfleet, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
it's interesting that Spock actually, in later years, ends up respecting and relying on his human part, where he despises it so much in the initial TV show.
Yeah.
Because he actually says later on in life, he says, I don't remember who he says it to. I don't know if it's in a movie or if it's in his appearances in one of the episodes, but he says something along the lines of, he turns to somebody and he says, you don't understand, logic is the beginning of wisdom.
To Data.
Does he say it to Data?
He says it to Data
On
because
the Klingon ship?
yeah, because
in reunification?
him and Data are talking about humanity.
I think he also said it to Kim Cattrall's character in
He was talking about having
Fight,
faith. That was a different
Discovered
quote.
Country.
Yeah, that was a different quote. He says, what I was talking about you is having faith. So it was a different quote, but it's all on the same line, because I think faith would have to probably be very human.
And he came to all that realization because of Vija.
Oh, by the way, there was a note I had made that I forgot to mention, is that the sound that I love so much, the sound from the Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album, I actually think it's not from Dark Side of the Moon. But anyway, that is actually the voice of Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, really?
He
He's
went into the
just
sound
going,
studio,
whoa, 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 whoa.
made that noise, and then they added effects to it. That's his voice.
That's cool.
Really
Yes.
interesting.
Mind, there's one thing that will make you lose all respect for Leonard Nimoy. Bilbo Baggins.
He was Bilbo Baggins?
No, he sang the song Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, that's right. He sure did. He sure did. I had forgotten. Darn it! I had forgotten that successfully. Darn you!
Didn't Shatner cut a couple albums?
Yeah, but I think Shatner did it like
Spoken word.
Shatner's musical career was kind of a self-parody, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never listened to anything he did, but
Leonard Nimoy really took it to a level of shab, man.
And I think it's going to be a long, long time before touchdown brings me up. We can do fine.
Just stick the gun in your mouth.
I'm a rock it man.
Rocket Man.
That's
You're not
so iconic,
rocking it, man.
That's so iconic. Stewie Griffin did it as well.
So we've got about 3 minutes left. Is there any final words that we want to say about the voyage home?
Yeah, it was a well-written story, well acted, with eye candy.
Yes.
Whereas modern films are just eye candy and very little else. I mean, like Jar Jar Abrams' Star Trek.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. This isn't a criticism at all. It was a movie that had about 3 endings, which is fine. You know, it had one ending and it could have ended there, and then the movie kept going, and then it could have ended there, and then it kept going, and then it finally ended, and and that was absolutely fine. I enjoyed it that way.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna end underneath the bridge in the rain. That's where I thought it was gonna end.
Yes, exactly. That's and actually I think that might have been a better place to end it, but that a more picturesque place to end it.
Yeah, but they wanted to set up for future films, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we wouldn't have seen Kirk. You wouldn't have seen everybody going, bad Kirk for destroying the Enterprise. Yay, Kirk for saving the world. You're demoted to captain.
Well, see, yeah, you could have done that just by fixing the order of scenes. You could do that.
Yeah.
Imagine if they'd really gone after Kirk. Yeah, you're demoted to captain, and here's your new vessel.
Yeah.
It's a Staten Island ferry.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He should have got the girl though.
It's not a nuclear vessel.
At the end, I think he should have gotten Catherine Hicks.
He was old enough to be her father.
I'll bet he did.
Well,
she was old enough to be his great grandmother.
Yeah.
That's
Did
a good point.
you get the whole deal with Savick not being taken to Earth through this whole process? They left
Why
her on
would
Vulcan?
she not?
Because they didn't want her to be implicated.
In the script, which never got filmed, this part never got filmed, she was pregnant with Spock's baby.
Well, in real life, she was also pregnant as well.
So that's the reason why they didn't do it. It's because she, quote unquote, helped him out in the previous movie through his Ponfar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason she got left behind, she was pregnant with Spock's child.
Is it me, or was Robin Curtis a much better Savick than
Kirstie
what you
Alley?
call it? Yeah.
Kirsty's prettier.
Never thought she was pretty at all, to be perfectly honest.
You think Kirstie Alley was prettier?
Then Robin Curtis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially her mouth. She has a
Her
really nice
voice is not at all prettier than.
Yeah.
She's a little more expressive too. That whole time where Kirk is shooting Spock out onto the Genesis planet, she's crying and she's looking down. Really well acted. Savick really, I guess, played a true non-emotional Vulcan. She played it more as to what a Vulcan is.
True to type. Much more to type.
Right. But she was written with nothing to do but play at that type.
Yes, exactly.
Prospero doesn't like Robin Curtis.
Yeah.
Each
I
their
couldn't
own.
stand Robin Curtis.
Well, let's face it.
They tried to get Kirstie Alley back, but she was too expensive.
Let's face it, it's a movie. Movies are an entirely subjective media.
Yeah.
They didn't look alike either. It wasn't
Yeah.
even close.
Wait, it didn't look alike?
Yeah, Robin Curtis and Kirstie Alley do not look alike.
I'm being sarcastic.
Speaking of continuity.
Yeah, yeah, really.
So, next, we all have to slog through the final frontier.
Here it comes.
And ask ourselves, what does God need with a starship?
Can I call him sick?
This is an odd-numbered movie and really proves the theory.
Request to be excused.
Request permission to be excused, Captain.
This is where you can tell the writers have forgotten where the galactic barrier was.
Yeah.
The good taste barrier. But
So-
we are brave Star Trek warriors, and we will soldier on through this, and we will make it entertaining for our chat because that's just the kind of critics we are.
So you're a Klingon.
Exactly.
I never understood why they clung to that, because we know there is no galactic barrier. So why would they think that?
There is a galactic barrier. It's on the outer edge of the galaxy.
No.
Yes, because the Enterprise, where no man has gone before, was supposed to be probing out of the galaxy. They encountered a barrier. When they tried to penetrate the barrier, it sent energy surges through the ship. Gary Mitchell was affected by it and became a super telepath.
Right, but I'm actually talking about reality.
But we're not on about reality.
Well, I mean, why would you, at this point, when Star Trek V is being written and the script is being created, why did they continue that from the original series? Because we now know that doesn't exist. Why would they use that as a prop to the movie? Couldn't they think of something else?
Clearly not in the same universe that we live in, because they still keep to the eugenics war and everything in Star Trek canon as well.
But yeah, but that's all stuff that hasn't happened in our timeline yet.
Exactly.
That's another 300 years in the future.
We've gone past when that's supposed to happen.
Have we gone past it?
Yeah. It was supposed to have happened in the 90s.
Really? The eugenic wars, Khan, that was all happening in the 90s?
Yep.
Prospero says, I saw that piece of shit in an overwarm theater on my birthday. Dinner was lovely, but the movie was tedious. So tedious. Yeah. Well, we'll all have plenty to say about it. On that note, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you to the Batman for coming in halfway through. It was good to have you.
It was my pleasure.
And
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
For tonight, the Harry channel will be the keeper for the minions, I believe. And I think Skep, you're there, right?
I'll be there.
Okay. And Irate, who do you have tomorrow for your ice cream interview? Irate.
Earth to irate. Come in, irate.
He's muted.
I was talking. I was muted.
Oh no.
Yeah. So all my smart ass comments, y'all didn't hear them. So that's good for y'all. Actually, they were quite cringy. So tonight, I'm doing a thing with Accelerate and Atema, the Hun, talking about, we're looking at critical theory. And so we're looking at these different videos and trying to break down the argumentative process so we can steelify our straw man, so to speak.
Nice.
And tomorrow I will be interviewing Stalvin's Forge.
Cool.
I don't know if you've met him,
No, I haven't.
he's a really, really nice guy, and he's got a great story. And then I've got his fiance the next week. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, Messiah of Keck after that.
Awesome.
Yay!
Well, my video on Molly Burke is now public. It's up, and the Blind and the Special will be happening tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I'm also trying to assemble a group of people ranging from totally blind to low vision, and we are going to be doing a roundtable discussion on what our issues as a blind community are with Molly. Not gonna be like a hate bashing session. It's actually gonna be like, here are the things that we don't like that she's doing that lump us all in with her, and try to spread awareness about that. I'm hoping to get that out on Monday as a live
So you
stream.
found out you're not the only one?
Oh, there's a lot. My Twitter followers have
Dude.
increased quite a lot over the past few days, and there've been all like blind or low vision people thanking me for talking about this. And
I've been trying to share your video out. I've shared it out a few times.
well, the funny thing is that the juxtaposition between Twitter and YouTube and the positive feedback that I'm getting there, and TikTok, where I'm being called a toxic negative bully
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not an SJW, you see.
You're
by
a hate
sighted
tornado.
by
Yeah.
sighted people, by the way, who
Yeah.
are saying that I shouldn't be, but I shouldn't be calling out a blind person, and I should be grateful for what she's doing. And yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Can I get a quick promo in here for the Minions?
of course.
Yeah, Minions Night Stream 1000 is coming up in a week.
Yes, I was gonna wonder who's hosting that.
Well, it's
know?
going to be a week from today, I guess. So, because we do it every night.
You're right.
So it's 993 was last night, 994 is tonight. So 1000 is 6 days away. So it would be Friday, Saturday.
Well, I will definitely try to at least pop in.
Carry
Yeah, me too.
Cosine of the 11 times 58. Trying to figure out what day of the week it's. Never mind, it's too hard.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go start dinner and control the yelling 6-year-old.
Good luck.
Do you have a whip?
Hmm?
Do you have a whip?
A whip.
No, but I have a pointed stick. No.
What you need is is an air pistol with anesthetic darts.
All right, guys, I'd like to thank chat for watching and my wonderful panel for being here. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday, everybody, and Pincalo and I will see you tomorrow night. Have a
Bye,
great
guys.
one, guys.
Bye, everybody.
And if you do crime, I'll be there to beat you up.